Okay, I'm so excited to talk about this. Basically, I watched like one of those Instagram influencers whole branding and marketing strategy webinar, and it was so good. So I like downloaded her graphics, and I'm going to try to pull them up for you guys and kind of like walk you through this whole process of attraction marketing, because I feel like in coaching a lot of times we talk about attraction marketing and we kind of know what it is, but she broke it down in such a like new tangible way and paired in some new things that I want to share with you guys, because I've been putting it into practice over the past like month, I would say, and this has been like one of the best months for me in terms of like Success Club and like just getting people to fill out my form and sign up from simply like attraction marketing as opposed to like hunting down the person and like chasing them and trying to like prod them to get to sign up. So first off, though, I just want to talk about a few things. When I first started coaching and using social media for coaching, I feel like I made a huge mindset shift. And so I want to like preface this whole call with this, because I feel like if you don't go into your social media with this mindset shift, then you are just like selling yourself short and like kind of doing it from the wrong place, I guess I would say, or like a bad place to where like everything with attraction marketing isn't going to work. So the first thing is to take your ego out of it. Because like when I first started social media, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, like it's always been about like, look at me, like I'm going to make this post of myself on the beach in order to like make people jealous that I'm like on the beach. And so like when you're a coach, you have to make this mindset shift. Like it's not about me anymore. Like everything I'm posting is in terms of, or like with an intention to let me help you, or let me inspire you, or let me solve a problem for you. I heard that one on a recent podcast and I was like, that's so good. So it's not like about you anymore. It's not like a look at me or like I'm better than you kind of thing, which I think is so empowering and like freeing. So the second thing I want to talk about is you are no longer a consumer on social media. And I think this is a big struggle for so many coaches. And it was for me, especially in the beginning, just like following tons of other social media influencers or coaches. And if you need to, like, go through your followers and like unfollow everyone that is distracting you, because it's good to have a few people that you follow. You want to like implement what they're doing or model your business after them. But when you are following too many, it's just total distraction, and like you got to put your blinders on, and it's such a huge time waster. So something that Chad and I we were actually talking about together is like, as a coach, or like even with him, he's building a business and a brand through social media. We like have to consider ourselves no longer consumers, but creators. Like primarily we have to be creators. So make a focus for yourself. Like, I don't know, write it down somewhere. I don't put a reminder in your phone, but somewhere make a note that your focus and your intention is to spend more time on social media every single day creating than you are consuming. And again, like the coolest part about that is it's going to make us better humans. It's going to make us better people. Like I consider my relationship with social media so much better nowadays because I'm not going on there to scroll and see what my other friends are up to, or what, I don't know, like influencers or like really big famous people, celebrities are doing all the time. I'm going on there to like make an impact. So it like helps us in the rest of our life to just like focus on an action driven life, and a life like helping other people, as opposed to constantly like, what are they doing, trying to compare and all that stuff. So, just remind yourself, like, I'm not the person anymore who spends 15 minutes scrolling and distracted, which can lead to 30 minutes to an hour or whatever. And that you are now the person who is creating. And like, I tell myself all the time, like, Leanna, you have a business to build. You ain't got time for that. Like, you don't have time for scrolling, and you have lives to change. That's also like always what I tell myself. So I'm going to go into the slides now that I have. See if I can share my screen. Okay. I'm so glad. My computer charger was broken and I got a new one in Amazon, or like from Amazon in the mail today. So yay, my computer is alive and working well. But anyways, hopefully you guys can see this. I know it's not like super big, but I'll try to like zoom in. Basically though, what I'm going to be talking about, what I learned from this online little webinar thing about social media and attraction marketing is, actually, I'm going to open up the chat to make sure. Okay, yeah, you guys can all see this. It's called the audience attraction method. And so there's like 3 main parts to it. There is the audience alignment protocol, which will talk about all these things because they didn't really make sense to me at first either. And then there is the attention content part of things, and then the conversion code. So yeah, that's number 1, which doesn't really make sense to anybody yet because you don't know what all this stuff means. So number 2, we're going to talk about like the first part, section by section. We'll just go into each thing. So part 1 is called the audience alignment protocol. So obviously we have you. You are the first part of this equation. Like you are sharing on social media and like you're sharing your core interest, which for all of us, like we have all of our brands, right? So like we are all health and fitness coaches. So we're all sharing about health and fitness. Like that's probably our core interest. But alongside that, you probably have other things like dog mom or wife or tiny living for me, or like yoga or recipes, like whatever your interests are, obviously. And then we also all have coaching as one of those things. So I really want you guys to think about like all of this stuff I'm talking about in terms of your health and fitness core interest and your coaching core interest, because those are the 2 main things we share to where we are trying to get people like signed up, right? And like on board with what we're doing. So the other part of this that we're going to talk about, which I've never heard talked about by coaches before, and this is like where the light bulb moment came on for me, is your core beliefs. So we're going to like pair those things together. Let's see if I can go to the next one. Oops, I just went out of order. Go back. Okay, here we go. So this just shows when the perfect thing is happening, or like the perfect match, I guess, because these are legit matches. It is you and your core interest plus your core beliefs. And then your perfect audience is the same person out there who has the core interest, like health and fitness or coaching, plus their core beliefs. And that was the thing that like really set a light bulb moment off in my brain, because I feel like I always talk about my core interests, but I don't necessarily always talk about my core beliefs with that core interest. And it's so important because you don't want to be sharing health and fitness and just have anybody who's interested in health and fitness sign up with you, right? Like we think at first when we're new coaches, like, yeah, I want anybody to sign up, anybody who's interested. But like after a while, you're like, you get to this point where you're like, no, like I want a person who's like me. I want somebody who's passionate about yoga to sign up, or I want somebody who has a dog, who understands dog mom life, or who understands life as a mom. Like you want the person who has the same like kind of lifestyle and core beliefs as you to sign up and like be your client. So this really is like the perfect equation. At least that's what I thought when I saw it. So, okay, next. So her example, she is a makeup artist, or like her passion or what she shares on Instagram is makeup. So what she was talking about, just to give you guys examples of like what the core belief really is number 1, simplicity is one of her core beliefs. So like in terms of makeup, she likes keeping things really simple. She doesn't like doing a super intense makeup routine. Her second core belief is quality over quantity. So she's not afraid to like recommend or share really expensive products if it's really good quality. But she again says like, you know, let's keep it simple. Let's not like put a million things on our face, but let's just, you know, quality over quantity. And then the last one is self-love. So she has this core belief of like really using makeup to love yourself more and like, I guess, enhance your natural beauty. So it's ultimately to like, you know, make yourself feel more confident and better about yourself, but not in like this overly done way. So what I want you guys now to do for like, I don't know, we'll just take like a minute to do this, but write down coaching and then write down health and fitness, I guess. And I want you guys to come up with like 2 to 3 core beliefs about coaching and then health and fitness. So like, for example, when you're sharing, or I'll even like talk about mine, and yours might be similar to mine, but like when I'm sharing about the health and fitness, like the boot camp opportunity, I guess, to sign up with me as a coach and work with me in my boot camps, I'm sharing health and fitness. But like one of my core beliefs with that is body confidence, I would say, or body peace, or maybe self-love. That would all be kind of like one core belief, because I'm not only working out, like the reason that these workouts have changed my life, it's not just the physical. Like for me, it goes so much deeper than that. So maybe a core belief for you would be like mental, like if you've ever struggled with anxiety or like depression, that could be a core belief for you. Another thing, you know, maybe it's simplicity. Like maybe health and fitness for you has always been complicated. So one of your core beliefs is like, I love having a simple routine that's just, you know, A plus B equals C. I follow my plan, I get results. It's so simple. Or another one I've heard, and I think one of mine is definitely sustainability. Like I like having a plan that will last me a lifetime. It's not this super extreme, like, you know, yo-yo diet cycle where you like cut out all these food groups and then suddenly lose the weight and then you have to go back to your normal routine. And yeah, so anyways, you guys get the idea. So take like another minute, I guess, to write down your core beliefs for not only health and fitness, but like also the coaching aspect of things. So, I don't know if you want me to give you like more examples, because I don't want to like overwhelm you guys with my ideas. And really all in all, like when she's talking about these core beliefs, it's kind of like your why, right? It's like, why am I drawn to this? Or why did I sign up originally? Like why is coaching something that I love so much? And it's really because it's in alignment with what your core beliefs are as a person. And so you want to find people out there that carry the same core beliefs as you do. Like with coaching, it's the freedom for me, like freedom, like location wise and time wise, but also like financially. And so I'm obviously looking for people to sign up and join our team and to recruit, all that good stuff, who have those same core beliefs. So I just love this whole idea because it's like totally connecting the dots. So part 2 is called attention content. So I'm going to try to zoom in here a little bit, but basically it's like, it's pretty obvious. When you share a photo on Instagram or a video, like why does it get popular, or why do people love it? Like why does it get a lot of likes? It's because it's an attention grabber. And we know this because like there have been times in my past where I posted a really ugly, like grainy and really dark photo. It's like just not good quality at all. Maybe it's blurry. And those photos just like get passed over because they don't really look nice. So obviously we want our content that we're posting about all of the stuff we just talked about, we want it to be pretty. We want it to grab people's attention. So she kind of walks you through like all these different methods of doing that. We have IGTV, we have Instagram Live, we have your feed, you have stories, you have ads, you have videos on your feed. So she really talked about like utilize every single one of these, because if somebody might surpass your story one day, who knows, maybe they'll come across your post that you posted on your feed. Or if somebody, you know, maybe they're not into watching the feed at all. Maybe they're super into stories right now and watching Instagram lives. Like she just said, make sure you're posting this kind of content, what we just talked about. Your core beliefs plus like who you are and your value that you're sharing in all of these places, because it's really just another opportunity to share content with people. And you never know like where people are watching you. So you got to make sure you're like showing up on all the places. So the second thing she said in order to create attention content is by asking yourself, like, what does my target audience want? So this might even be something you could ask your audience on Instagram, like go make a post and ask people like, what would be the number one, you know, thing that you want to hear me talking more about? Or I've even asked this in a poll, like on my stories before, And it's so funny when you like hear that, because for me, people always want to hear about tiny life and marriage. It's always like those two things. And I think it's so funny because like that's not even like I'm, you know, health and fitness is like my main focus, but people really resonate with that stuff. So I'm trying to like figure out how to tie that in to all of this and then help them take that next step and connect it to the health and fitness. So that's like another beast on its own. But I really like this because now it's like we have a full, or it's kind of like we have this equation that's completing itself. We have what our core content is that we're sharing. So like health and fitness, coaching, tiny living, dog mom, like all your brands basically, plus your core values. And then this third piece of like, what does the audience want? So not only are we sharing like who we are and our core values, but we're sharing something that they're genuinely going to be asking for, right? So she gives us another example of this. For her, people want confidence. And like that totally, it's so cool to me because like confidence falls in line with one of her core values of, what was it? Self-love, I think. I think confidence and self-love like totally go together. So she's sharing that in like all these different pictures. Obviously, like she talks about, you know, being confident without makeup even, or being confident in like a simple makeup routine or a really glamorous makeup routine. So ask your audience, and that's like the part that's going to take a little more work, right? And it's almost a little more vulnerable because you're asking for people's feedback instead of just like throwing stuff out there. But I think it's probably one of the most valuable things that we can do and that we miss out on doing, because like you're giving your followers and your, you know, tribe of people a chance to engage in like the process of you creating this stuff for them. Like it's, I don't know, I think we just pass over it, and it's so simple and such an easy way to like connect better with people. Let's see, was that the right one? Okay. I felt like I'm missing one. Anyway, so this is part 3 now. And this is kind of like the easier step for us as coaches, because we don't need to figure out how we're going to sell stuff on Instagram. That was kind of what she was talking about. Like we already have a way to get people signed up. We already have a business plan that's in plan and in a structure, which I think is like the blessing of coaching and something really good to share with people who are asking you about coaching, or maybe who are joining your coach workshops. Like, I just wanted to bring this slide up really to remind you guys that as coaches, we have this wonderful ability to not have to figure out how to get paid to promote brands or to promote affiliate products or to sell a service or to sell coaching or sell a physical product. Like we literally have share cart. We just send people a link and it's so simple. So this was more of just like, I'm so glad that we don't have to figure all that out. But the last thing she talked a little bit about is what she asked herself this question, like, what is the main way that nowadays people are making money, you know, on Instagram or on TV? She said it's through entertainment. So like we've talked about all these different ways you can create content that's connecting with your target audience, and you can also kind of like get their idea of what they want in on that, and you can make posts that's kind of connected to what they want as well as what's your core values. But the other piece that we need to remember is people are not going to stay around and not going to watch and not even like take the value if we are not entertaining them. And when I say that, like, don't think of like you have to be a comedian or something like that. Like, think of what do you find entertainment on Instagram with, right? Like I find entertainment from like people being funny or telling stories or being authentic. So like the more you can be, like I personally think it's going to be the more entertaining for people to watch you. And that being said, like not monotone, not like, I don't even know, like negative, like be real and share how your day is actually going. And if it's a bad day, share about that bad day, real and like vulnerable, but like bring the energy every single day. Like an example of this, I always say good morning. In my like first story of the day, I always say good morning, like blah, 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 little update. Like, I don't even know how we slept. I kind of like treat it like a vlog. And recently I got a message from a girl saying like, I really appreciate your happy good morning every day. I look for it. And I was like, that's so sweet. But like, I would never have thought that. Like, I'm literally just like trying to be joyful on my first video because it's like, oh, fresh start. So really think about like the kind of like energy, I guess, you're bringing to your stories and your Instagram as a whole every day, because people love to be entertained. And I think that is really what does like entertaining to them, is when we bring ourselves and our energy of like who we are. So lastly, what she was talking about as well with just like, entertainment is the perfect way to do this and like get people to come to our page and fall in love with us, become like our follower, our tribe, and then sign up with us. Like the whole spiel of what we want to happen, she said, is by including promotions in between your content, which I feel like this is kind of like what we already do and what we know as coaches. And if you don't know this, then like awesome, this is going to help you even more. But the best way to do this, like think about a story. Like she has all her stories right here. And so right here, she's like talking about these earrings that she loves, and she's probably like promoting them, and she's being entertaining. She's bringing the energy, and she says, swipe up to get this jewelry. And she has, you know, an affiliate link with that or whatever. So she's getting paid to do that. But all in all, the main like message with this is we need to like include promotions in between our content of like being entertaining and sharing our core values and core beliefs along with the health and fitness or the coaching side of things. Like whatever it is we're sharing, it needs to be not just like, you know, promote, and then I'm going to go back to like my normal everyday routine and entertaining people and being myself on social media, whatever. It needs to be kind of like interwoven all together, so that every day you're like, oh, here's a little promotion, but then I'm going to go back to like talking about my day. Here's a little promotion about my group. Okay, now I'm going to go back to entertaining them, tell them a funny story about Lola or a joke or something like that. So like the more intentional really you can be with all this, the better. Oh, I think those are all my slides. I'm going to stop sharing. Yay, we have just like a few more minutes for questions too. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I know it was for me, like when I first heard it, and it's probably some stuff you've heard a lot of times before, but seeing it from somebody who's not a coach and seeing the way that they're promoting their, you know, products and services and all that kind of stuff, and creating really like a solid tribe and like following of people, I think is so helpful, because coaches aren't the only ones who have it figured out. You know, like there are great coaches with awesome big social media followings, but I think when we're not looking outside of the coaching world, we're actually like selling ourselves short of people who have figured these things out. So yeah, I hope this is so helpful. I'm going to read through this on the side here. Oh my gosh, thank you. I like sat out yesterday in the sun and I felt like I was getting burnt, but I don't think I did. So I'm glad I didn't get burnt. Cleaner is the best. I use that all the time. Yeah, Heather, I love all of those. I can post on stories right now. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, Brianne, see, like that is where I feel like it's really good to kind of like experiment on Instagram and realize what is entertaining to people. Like every time I tell stories about Lola or just like funny things that she did that's kind of stressful and like brings me actual anxiety, people love that kind of stuff. Like they send me messages after messages about like, oh my gosh, like my dog does that too or whatever. So I feel like honestly, like the more you can share just like the funnies of life, I feel like the better and like more connection kind of you're creating with people. Do you guys have any other questions? You can unmute yourselves, and it doesn't even have to be about like what we just talked about. Anything at all. Yeah, stories are just the best. I love stories. I like telling stories probably too much on stories. Okay, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm gonna stop recording.